I have been asked so many times why we are using this curriculum, and I'm going to answer that today, plus give you a review because we finally finished it. It's taken 2 years, but we're done. Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy, and I am a homeschool mom who has been homeschooling for going on 10 years now. I cannot believe it. It went by really fast. I'll say that. It went by really, really fast, but it has been such an amazing ride. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. So my 8th grader, who is going into 9th grade, has just finished Notgrass's America the Beautiful. This is a 2-volume curriculum, and he used it for grades 7 and 8. This was a huge curriculum, and I feel like there's some positive and negative aspects of this curriculum. So if you're looking for different types of curriculum, or if you're trying to figure out what you want for history, maybe this will give you an idea. I'm not sure, but I did want to give you a review because I get asked questions about Notgrass all the time. This is not my first time using Notgrass. I want to say my oldest used their 9th grade world history. So it was not my first time using them. I understood how to use the curriculum. It's very simplistic. It's very to the point. It's not hard at all. You do not need a ton of different books or anything like that to get through the curriculum, and they have different types of packaging depending on what you're looking for. So let's go over the package that I purchased so you can kind of see what I got. So the package I purchased was the biggest package, like the deluxe package, the highest grade package. Yeah, I actually spent the money on that. I purchased everything brand new from the website, which I will say it's pricey. It's one of the pricier curriculums that I've seen. However, here's the thing. This one is for 2 years. So, I planned to use it for 2 years. You can use it however you want. But because there are, and I'll show you why we did it over 2 years. So the package that I purchased has 2 of these books. Okay, so there's 75 lessons in this book. And then when you finish that one, there's 75 in this book. Now, my initial thought, because there were 75 lessons in each book, was to spread it out over 2 years. So I'm thinking, okay, if the price is this, then divide that by 2, and that's actually what I'm paying over the course of 2 years. You see what I mean? Now, if you move a little bit quicker than we did, then you might just do this for 1 year. This is just how we decided to do it because there were 75 lessons for 2 different books. So I'm thinking 1 textbook per year. And then we purchased all of the other things, which I have over here. So I got the lesson review book. I feel like this was pretty essential. Then the student workbook, which is like a color workbook that goes with all of the lessons. There is a timeline book. It is very Charlotte Mason-y, so there is a timeline book. There is a map book here, and then the answer key and literature guide. And then the We the People book. So this goes directly with your lessons in your textbook. So in the textbook, it's going to refer to this book all the time. And it's just extra things like different poems and songs and extra readings, speeches, things like that. These are all in here. And then I purchased the literature package. Now, these are not all of the books. This is just a handful of them. There are more put away that he's already read. This is just like the last little bit that we had to get through. And I think there's like 10 books in all or so. And we went ahead and we purchased that package as well. And those go with your stories. So like Little Town on the Prairie, it's going to tell you to read that book when about this time happens in your textbooks. You see what I mean? So there's going to be different things that go with it. So America the Beautiful is a middle grade American history course. And each lesson is like its own chapter where you're going to learn about one specific topic, and it's going to go in chronological order from the beginning of America to just about present day. And these textbooks are pretty up to date. The presidents in the back here that are listed, I want to say, I'm going to check right now. Yeah, so the last president listed is actually Joe Biden. So these are actually pretty current. Okay, so one thing you might have noticed in the books is that there is not a teacher book. It's really not needed, because at the end of every lesson, you're going to have a big list of things to do, and that's kind of like the teacher area. So you don't really need a teacher book. And another thing that you're going to find is that this curriculum is open and go. However, there is no like lesson schedule. So there is no like broken up schedule of like a Monday through Friday, this is what you need to do. This is kind of a you get to pick how you do it type of thing. So how I broke it up, especially this year, like the way that we broke up book number 2 this year, was we did kind of a one day on, one day this, one day that type of thing. So on Monday, he would read the lesson. And then on Tuesday, he would do the lesson activities that went with the lesson he just read. And then he would, on Wednesday, read the next lesson. And then on Thursday, do the activities. And then on Fridays, he would read his literature book. That was our specific schedule. Again, you can do your schedule however you want. This is totally up to you. It's very Charlotte Mason based, so it's very, I don't know, it's very flowy. It's very laid back, and you can just kind of do whatever you want with it. It's very easy to follow along. I will say that. There are tests involved if you want to give your kids tests. The tests are not complicated at all. A lot of times it's just like a multiple choice type of thing, easy peasy. Very laid back. Again, really laid back type of curriculum. So let's go over the pros first, at least for my family. For my family, this was a really easy thing to do. My child could do it completely independently. My son really likes to work independently. He just does better that way. And then we, at the end, like come together and talk about what he did, talk about points. I don't read it out loud to him. He reads it to himself. It's just a preference of his. And then whenever he's done with his lesson, we talk about what he learned, talk about any discussion points, that type of thing. I'm always aware of what he's learning. I look at the lesson ahead of time, but that's really all I need to do. So that brings me to my next point, which is it's really open and go. There's not a whole lot of prep work for parents here, which is great. So if you need something like that, it works really well. I think this would also work really, really well for parents of multiples. So if you have more than one child that's in this age group, it's going to be really easy for you just to get one textbook. Well, there's 2 textbooks in here, but one textbook for your family, and have multiple workbooks if you're doing a workbook, that type of thing, and do it family style. This curriculum would work really well family style. There's lots of different activities and things like that. There's everything from art to cooking to singing to reading to prayers to copy work. There's so many different things in here for multiple different types of personalities and learning styles. So I feel like you're going to get a really great mix with this. I feel like there's something for everybody in this curriculum. The cons for me is that it did feel a little bit juvenile for my child. Now, I'm not saying that it is juvenile. I'm saying that for my child, this was a little bit too easy for him, and he would sometimes get bored with it, which I understand. Now, the language in here is typical language for middle graders. It is not the fault of this curriculum. This is just for my personal family. I hope that I made that really clear. So my son is a little bit advanced, but I did not want to get him a high school curriculum just yet because I didn't want to overload him. So this felt a little bit too easy for him. He enjoyed it. He really liked the colorful aspect of it, but I feel like he probably needed something a little bit more. So next year we won't be doing another one of these. I will show you later on what we'll be doing next year. The other con that I had in here was that there are a lot of fluff chapters. Just chapters on different topics and subjects that I felt like maybe they just needed to round out the lessons to 75 per, which is why we had some chapters that were, you know, I don't know, they almost felt like they didn't belong, but a lot of people like that type of stuff. You know, he really enjoyed the nature aspect of it. There are a lot of chapters about nature in different areas of the United States, which was cool. If you know anything about my youngest child, if you've been around here a long time, then you know that he really loves animals and nature. So he really enjoyed those chapters. But there were some chapters that felt like they just needed more and they just kind of added those in. But again, I'm just speculating. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I'm not saying it's a bad curriculum. I think it's a great curriculum and I would recommend it if you are looking for a American history that goes over a wide variety of topics. This is the one that you want. It's very Charlotte Mason. It's open and go, and you know, I think it's great for family style. It's colorful. It's easygoing. I think it's going to be a great fit for a lot of different families. The last con I would say is the price point. However, you can get stuff like this used, so I would not recommend doing what I did and just buying everything new. I did not find any used, and I was just honestly annoyed and tired, and it was getting to the end of the year and I just needed to buy something, so I just bought it brand new, and I figured I'm gonna spread it over 2 years anyway, so whatever. I don't know, I was in a mood that day and just bought it outright brand new from the store. But like I said, this is gonna be cut in half if you're gonna use it for 2 years, so that's how I justified the price. And a lot of people ask me, why did you buy that when you love Generations? Here's the thing. You guys know that I'm a huge advocate of asking your kids what they want, and that's what I did. 2 years ago, I sat my son down and I said, hey, here are some options. And I gave him several different companies, several different things to look at. This was one of the options in there, and he really wanted this one. And at the beginning of 8th grade, he said, hey, you know, we didn't finish that American history one. We still have another year. We still have another book number 2. Let's just finish that one, and then we'll go back to Generations. So I said, okay. So the reason why I'm using it is because my son requested it. That is the only reason, is he requested this one. He really liked it. He thought that it looked great online and he wanted to try it out. So he, especially when he was younger, really likes colorful books. So if a book looks really colorful and lively, it grabs his attention. So it really was not a surprise that he picked this one. I had a feeling that that's the one that he would pick. So I said, that's great, let's try it, and if you like it, we will keep on moving with it. And you know, so far, you know, he did really great with it. I'm not complaining at all about it. We are going to go back to Generations though next year, so be on the lookout for my videos on what we're going to be using for 9th grade, and I will show you guys all of that coming up very soon. It's very exciting. So this is probably the last year I will be using Notgrass, but you never know what could happen in the future, you know what I mean? All right, so I'm gonna leave a link down below to where you can purchase this, or you can go check it out. There's a ton of videos on the page for America the Beautiful. That's actually what I did to learn about the curriculum. I went onto the Notgrass page and I watched all of the videos from Charlene Notgrass explaining how this works and everything like that, and then I made the purchase. All right guys, I will see you in the next video. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy homeschooling.